Hey, what's up, LegendaryZComics fam? So welcome all of you to a brand new video of our channel. The movie that we are going to talk about today is the third movie of Sonic's franchise, which was released in India yesterday. That is, it will end on January 3rd. The special thing about this movie is that in this movie, Sonic will fight a character that looks exactly like him, although that character is similar to Sonic only in appearance. In terms of powers, he is much more powerful than Sonic. And the name of this character is Shadow, and yes, as far as the story of the movie and the fight scenes of the movie are concerned, all these things are very good in the movie, and that is why I like this video in today's video. Otherwise, if someone is watching this video for the first time, if you are watching our channel, then subscribe to our channel quickly, and also set the bell icon next to the subscribe button to all so that you can be the first to see all the latest videos of our channel. So let us now start without any delay. Let's start today's amazing video with Music Apocalypse. So first of all, whoever knows about Sonic character and his for those who don't know about the movies. I would like to tell them that the Sonic character and all its movies are based on a Japanese video game named Sonic the Hedgehog, and if we talk about the universe of Sonic movies, then in the movies Sonic belongs to a different universe, a universe in which Sonic is the fastest, that is. In his world, no one is faster than Sonic, but because of Sonic being the fastest, everyone else hates him. They start attacking him, and sometimes they also attack him, due to which Sonic has to leave his world and come to Earth, and from then on he starts living on Earth only. Along with this, in Sonic's world, his brother is called an owl. That is, an owl whose name was Longclaw, and this Longclaw sends Sonic to Earth to save him, and along with that she also gives Sonic many rings, such rings with the help of which Sonic can open portals and can go from one place to another along with the rest of it. In Sonic's movies, he also has two friends, the first of whom is Knuckles and the second is Tails, and all three of them, i.e. Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails live with a human couple on Earth whose names are Tom and Maddie, and apart from them, if you have seen the previous two movies of Sonic, then you must know all the other characters. So now, after knowing all these things, let us now talk about Sonic's Hedgehog, who is kept captive, and that too is with high security. There are many soldiers here who ensure that neither these hedgehogs can escape from here nor anyone else can come here. Here we come to know that all of them together have done this. Hedgehog has been kept in captivity for 50 years, and in these last 50 years, this hedgehog has not done anything, and friends, the name of this hedgehog is Shadow. Now, here we see that Shadow suddenly gets some pain. Memories come inside, which the shadow of a little girl, they are sitting together, and both of them are holding each other's hand, and from this memory we come to know that the girl is a very good friend of Shadow. But remembering this memory, Shadow shakes in the present time, and slowly he starts regaining consciousness. But as soon as the guards of the facility see that Shadow's body is moving, they all gather and point their guns at Shadow, but the next moment Shadow opens his eyes. And then he breaks the glass and comes out and beats all the guards very quickly, and now because Shadow's speed was also very high, so no guard there is able to fight Shadow. Only after this, when Shadow beats all the guards, he gets out of the prison facility and heads straight towards Tokyo City. After this, the scene shifts and we see Sonic. Here we see that Sonic is on his way to Tokyo, is enjoying holidays and playing games with family, and hence along with Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Tom, and Maddie, and everyone are enjoying a lot. And on this very day, all of Sonic's friends, i.e. Knuckles, Tails, Tom, and Maddie throw a surprise party for Sonic, and this party is held because today it has been a full year since Sonic came to Earth. Had happened, and that is why everyone celebrates this day as Sonic's birthday. Now, only after this, both Sonic and Tom come together to Sonic's cave, and this cave was the same cave in which Sonic used to live when he was Sonic. Had made a painting of Longclaw inside this cave, who had just arrived on Earth, and so on seeing that painting, Sonic remembers Longclaw and becomes very emotional in his memory. But on seeing this thing, Sonic, he takes care of her and gives her emotional support. After this, we see Shadow again, who arrives in Tokyo City at this time, and he notices that the year 2024 has arrived, and that is why this, after seeing the thing, he also understands that he was kept in captivity for 50 years, and now after knowing this, Shadow gets even more angry. But then in the next moment, a lot of soldiers come to him, and they attack Shadow, seeing which Shadow gets even more angry. He gets even more angry and starts beating all those soldiers. Now, after this, we see Sunny again, where he is enjoying a lot with his family, but then at this time, a helicopter comes to them, and from inside that helicopter, a lady officer and many of her companions come out. That lady officer tells the soldier and his family that her name is Director Rawl, and she is actually an officer of an organization called GUN. Now, friends, this is GUN. Its full form is Guardian Units of Nations, and in Sonic's movies, it is basically an international security organization that protects the whole world from all major threats. Now, Rockway, the director of this gun organization, tells Sonic and his family here that at this time a hedgehog came like a snake inside the city of Tokyo, Japan, but he is very bad and he is causing destruction in the whole city. And not only this, but he is so powerful that even all their soldiers are not able to stop him. And then Director Rockwell tells all of them that they have to do this to kill him. Sonic needs the help of Knuckles and Tails. in the work, and that is why they want Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails to go with them to Tokyo and stop the evil Hedgehog. After hearing this, Sonic and his two friends agree. After that, Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails say goodbye to Tommy and Maddie and leave for Tokyo directly with Director Rockaway in his helicopter. After reaching Tokyo City, all three jump from the helicopter and come down. Soon all three of them see that the whole place around them has been destroyed, but then in the next moment Shadow appears in front of them. That is the same Hedgehog to stop whom the gun organization has sent these three here. Now seeing Shadow, Sonic and his friends are shocked to find Shadow looking exactly like Sonic. The only difference was that Shadow's body was a little bit blue and a little bit black too, but only after all this, Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails together tell Shadow that all three of them have come here to stop him, and that is why all three of them want to be there. That Shadow should stop all this destruction right now and talk to them so that they can also know what is the problem with Shadow. But friends, here we see that Shadow is very angry, and that is why he threatens Sony. And he asks his friends to leave from there, but Knuckles gets angry with this, and that's why he attacks Shadow. But friends, we see that Shadow is much more powerful than Knuckles, and that's why he easily defeats him. He beats Knuckles and then beats Sonic and Tails as well. After beating all three of them, Shadow takes his bike and leaves from there. But seeing this, Sonic starts chasing him, and he fights with Shadow again, but this time also Shadow defeats Sonic and leaves from there after beating him. The Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails, all three come to a nearby restaurant and sit there eating and start thinking, who is Shadow? Why is he attacking here, and how can the three of them stop Shadow? Now at this time, Commander Walters comes to the three of them, and we come to know that this Commander Volts also actually works for Gun. Only after Commander Walters' arrival, Sonic and his friends ask him who Shadow is, and after hearing why he is attacking here, Commander Walters starts telling Sonic and his friends about Shadow. Commander Walters tells that 50 years ago, a small Metroid fell on the Earth, but when we saw it nearby, when we came and saw, we found out that inside that meat ride there was a Hedgehog, which we named Shadow. Now, if we see Shadow was also a Hedgehog just like you, but where you got love and respect on coming to Earth, this Shadow, when he came to Earth, he was hated and angered and despised by everyone, but when he got inside that Metroid, when we found Shadow after doing research on him, we found out that Shadow is such an alien who can run very fast, and at the same time, there is a lot of energy inside his body, and that is why the scientists of our world started using Shadow, and with the help of Shadows, we started creating a lot of energy so that that energy could be useful for humanity, but actually at that time we did not know that we would not be able to handle the powers of Shadows, because once the scientists get control over the powers of Shadows while doing the experiment, so much energy was created that the whole lab got destroyed and many people died in that destruction, and that is why, keeping this in mind, the whole experiment was closed and the main scientist who was doing this whole experiment was also put in jail. And as far as Shadow is concerned, Shadow is very precious to us, so we could not kill him, but now because Shadow is a big threat to humanity, that is why an organization named Gun imprisoned him, and then from then till now, i.e. in the past, Shadow remained in our captivity for 50 years, but now that Shadow has come out and he is creating havoc, but after this we see that there are many draw sites, and all those draw sites are attacking that restaurant in the bar. But at the right time, a biker comes there, and after killing all the Drosophila there, Sony sees that Commander Walters has been badly injured due to this attack, and that is why, after seeing this, he quickly goes to the commander. He leaves, but then Commander Walters takes a key out of his pocket and gives it to Sonic and says that this key is very dangerous and very valuable, and that's why he wants Sonic to take care of it, because he needs it. Sonic is the only one they trust now. After getting his key, Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails together go after the biker who had shot all those dogs. After chasing the biker, the three of them find out that the biker and none other than Dr. Eggman seen in Sonic Part 1 and Part 2, the assistant was Agent Stone. Now, after meeting Agent Stone, all three of them tell him that the drones that had just attacked them belonged to none other than Dr. Gagman, but on hearing this, Agent Stone says that he knows that all those drones belong to Dr. Eggman. But he can tell that this time this attack has not been done by Dr. Gagman, but in fact all those drones have been stolen by Drosus, and then he has done the attack. Now he is saying this only after this, Agent Stone takes Sonic and all his friends to Dr. Gagman, and after reaching there, all three of them also see that Dr. Gagman is alive at this time, and he is watching a movie at this time, and the thing about being alive is that friends, because if you all have seen Part 2. Then in the ending of Sonic Part 2, we were shown that Dr. Eggman had died, but actually at that time Agent Stone had saved Dr. Gagman. Now here comes the story of Dr. Eggman. Later, Agent Stone also tells Dr. Gagman that, "Sir, someone has stolen your drones and is using them as well." Now, as soon as Dr. Gagman comes to know that someone is stealing his drone and using it, he quickly uses his technology and finds out the location from where his drones are being used. And actually, friends, this location is the same location where Shadow was kept captive, and then for this, Dr. Eggman, Agent Stone, Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails, all 5 together form their team, and to know more about this and this drone to catch the thief. We go straight there, and on the other side we see that location, i.e. that prison, and here we see that. And here we see that Shadow comes inside this prison again, and we see that last time Shadow destroyed everything while leaving from here, but this time when Shadow comes back here, he remembers a girl here whose name is Maria. Now friends, at this time the story goes into flashback. And we are told a story that 50 years ago we see in the story that when the Shadow was captured on Earth and experiments were done on it when we used to go there used to be a head of all those experiments, and the name of that main scientist was Dr. Gerald Robert Neck and friends. This Dr. Gerald was none other than the grandfather of Dr. Eggman. But 50 years ago, when this Dr. Gerald was working on Shadow at the same time, he also had a granddaughter who was 10 to 12 years old, and her name was Maria. Now, Maria used to come to meet her grandfather, Dr. Harold, in the same facility where experiments were done on Shadows. And that is why when she comes here and sees Shadow, she befriends him and laughs and plays with him every day. Gradually, Shadow and Maria become very good friends, and that is why they spend a lot of time with each other. And they do many things together, like hanging out in the lab, watching movies at home, and sitting together at night and talking. Now, everything is going well with Shadow and Maria, even Dr. Harold, who was Maria's grandfather and who was working on the Shadow, everyone was very happy for their friendship, but then one day suddenly orders came that Shadow would be taken away from the custody of Dr. Harold, and he would be taken far away. Now, as soon as Dr. Harold and Maria came to know about this, both of them become very sad, and that is why they start running away from there with Shadow, but then seeing this, some soldiers attack them, and then in the meantime, a soldier's bullet hits a container which is being stored in the container. A lot of Shadow energy was stored inside it, and that is why as soon as a bullet hits there, the whole lab explodes and many people there die. Maria also dies in the same blast. That is why Maria, she dies in front of both her grandfather, Dr. Harold, and her best friend, Shadow. Maria's death leaves both Dr. Harold and Shadow devastated, and they are taken into custody at the same time. Out of the two, Dr. Harold is put in jail, and Shadow is also put in a high-security prison to keep him captive. Now, friends, this is the end of the past story, and at this time we see that where Shadow is standing and remembering all these things, a man comes to him, and friends, this man is none other than Maria's grandfather, Dr. Gerald, is there, so Shadow is very happy to see him here. Here, both of them talk about Maria, and Shadow tells Dr. Gerald that even today he is not able to forget Maria. Hearing this, Dr. Gerald, he tells him that he too should not forget Maria, and that is why whatever happened to Maria, now both of them together will take revenge for it. Now friends, only after this the scene shifts and we see that Dr. Gagman Sonic and his entire team reach there. This happens because Dr. Gagman gets the news of his drone being operated from here. At the same time, Dr. Gerald and Shadow also come to know that someone has come outside their prison, and that is why they hide. Meanwhile, Sonic, and as soon as his team enters, they all disperse and together they start looking for Dr. Gagman's drug, but taking advantage of this, Shadow goes to everyone one by one and he catches them all and brings them to himself. Here in the end, Dr. Eggman goes straight to meet Dr. Gerald, and on seeing Dr. Gerald, he comes to know that the man standing in front of him looks exactly like him, but here after meeting Dr. Eggman, Dr. Gerald tells him that he is actually his grandfather, and he was the one who gave him Drosara, and he was also using his drone now. Friends, Dr. Gagman comes to know that his grandfather was using Drosis, and not only this, but he is also very happy to meet his grandfather here. Only after this, Gagman's grandfather, i.e. Dr. Gerald, takes Gagman inside. And only after that they see that Shadow has tied up Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, and even Agent Stone, and Dr. Gerald comes to them and takes the key from Sonic's pocket, which was given to him by Commander Walters. Only after this can Dr. Gerards regain he tells about it and gives all the details. Dr. Gerard says that these gun organizations were responsible for the death of my granddaughter Maria, and because of these gun people, not only did my granddaughter Maria die, but I was also sent to jail for many years. But in my life, I had designed a very dangerous weapon, and I named it Eclipse, and this Eclipse was such a dangerous weapon that it could go into space and destroy the whole Earth in one go, and when I was in jail. The gun dealers asked me to give them the design of this dangerous weapon of mine, and I had to make a deal with them to get out of jail and give them the design of my Eclipse, but the Eclipse was not real. I am mine, and that's why now I will take my Eclipse from these gunmen and also take revenge for the death of my granddaughter Maria. Now, along with all this, here we also get to know that these are the clips made by Dr. Gerald. Actually, it operates with two keys, and the first of those keys was with Commander Walters, which he had given to Sonic, but now Dr. Gerald has got that key from Sonic, and now he just has to get the second key, but friends, the second key is currently inside the headquarters of Gun Organization N. London, and that key is kept there with utmost security, but Dr. Gerald says that now he will get that key with the help of Shadow and his grandson and will take revenge for the death of his granddaughter Maria from the gunman. After saying this, Dr. Gerald leaves from there with his grandson Eamon and Shadow, but before leaving he throws a small sphere there, which is actually a mini black hole. That is why it absorbs everything around it. He starts eating things, but Sonic and his friends take out their rings at the right time and quickly open the portal and go away from there, but when they teleport out of the rings, they see that ring consumes everything around it right in front of their eyes, but only after this Sonic. Knuckles and Tails decide that this time, but Dr. Gerald, Eggum, and Shadow have to be stopped from doing what they are about to do. After this, Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails quickly go to their home and tell everything to Tom and Maddie, after which they all five are ready to go to jail. Together, they decide that they will quickly go to London and go to Gun's headquarters and get the key from there so that Dr. Gerald and Shadow cannot get the key, but Gun people had kept the key under very high security. And there were many lasers installed outside the vault in which the key was kept. Such lasers could cut anyone who touched it. And that is why Tails gives the idea here that he should take Tom and Maddie in disguise with a gun. He will send them inside the headquarters, and after coming to the server room there, he will make Tom and Maddie insert a USB drive so that they can bypass the laser light, and then after escaping from the laser light, he will go straight to the vault and get the key. But at the same time, on the other hand, we also see that Dr. Gerald is his grandson. Eamon and Shadow, all three reach London together, and they have also come here to get the key, so they also quickly leave for Gun's headquarters. Now friends, Dr. Eamon is supporting his grandfather for this reason. This happens because when his grandfather, Dr. Gerald, gets his Eclipse weapon, he will destroy the gun, and once the gun organization is destroyed, Dr. Gagman wants to rule the whole world along with his grandfather, Dr. Gerald. On the other side, we see So's team, where they too have reached London, and according to the plan, they have sent Tom and Maddie inside the gun headquarters in a different way so that they can go inside and insert the USB drive. But when Tom and Maddie go inside and insert the USB drive, they see that there is another USB drive inserted next to them, and this USB drive is actually inserted by Dr. Gerald and Dr. Gagman. Only after all this, inside the world we see that there, but Dr. Gerald and Eamon enter to get the key, and Sonic also reaches there at the same time, but when they are about to grab the key, we see that all of them get stuck to the ground only after this. Director Rockwell arrives there with several of her colleagues, and we see that she has arrested Tom and Maddie as well, and then here Rockwell tells everyone that she actually already knew. She thought that those people have come here to get the key, and that is why she has caught all of them here, but friends, only after everyone is caught, we see that Knuckles also comes there, due to which everyone is there. There is chaos, and everyone starts running here and there with the key, but then Shadow comes there and he gets the key, but due to one of Shadow's attacks, Tom gets badly injured, but Shadow is there, but he doesn't stop and he quickly gets the key and leaves with Dr. Gerald and Gagman, while Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails see this, they find that Tom is badly injured and unconscious, then they get very worried about him, and then they, along with Maddie, quickly take him to the ambulance, after which Maddie takes care of Tom and takes him to the hospital. Sonic gets very angry seeing all this, and now because of Dr. Gerald, Dr. Gagman, and Shadow, Tom also got injured, so his mind gets very angry, and that is why he decides that no matter what, he will do everything. No matter what happens, he will stop those three. Now for this, Sonic asks Knuckles to tell him where he has kept the Master Emerald, because friends, if you all remember, the Master Emerald was hidden inside Sonic 2. He goes there and only Knuckles knows where he has hidden the Master Emerald, and that is why Sonic asks him to quickly tell him where the Master Emerald is so that he can get the Master Emerald and become powerful from it and quickly stop Shadow and his friends. Now after hearing this, Knuckles quickly tells So about the Master Emerald, after which Sonic quickly gets the Master Emerald and gains its powers and becomes very powerful, just like the way he became powerful in Sonic 2. Now friends, on the other hand, we see that now both after getting the keys, Shadow, Dr. Gerald, and Gagman quickly find the Eclipse and activate it, and then all three of them sit in it and go into space outside the Earth, so that from space. All three of them together can kill the gun through Eclipse. After this, in this Eclipse in space, we see that here both Dr. Gerald and Shadow together remember Maria's death again, and hence Maria is killed. Remembering this, Shadow also gets very angry, and that is why he quickly creates energy by running in the Eclipse, and then within no time a lot of energy gets collected, but Gagman gets a little scared seeing this energy, and that is why he asks his grandfather how to blow up the gun's head. Orders. This energy is very high, but after listening to this, Dr. Gerald tells him that actually those people want to destroy the whole Earth. That is why they are storing a lot of energy, so that the whole Earth gets destroyed and that destruction happens. Along with him, those three should also be killed, because after taking revenge for Maria's death, they will no longer have any motive. But now here, as Gagman hears his grandfather's words, he gets very scared, and that is why he goes to his grandfather, Dr. He tells Gerald that his revenge is only against the gunmen, so he should blow up the gun's headquarters and complete his revenge, only after which he and his grandfather together will rule the whole world, and that is why he wants to take revenge from his grandfather. He requests them not to destroy the whole Earth, because Earth is their home too, but friends, we see that Gagman's grandfather, i.e. Dr. Gerald, does not listen to him, and he quickly activates Eclipse, due to which after this, as soon as Eclipse is activated, a 10-minute timer starts, and now after this 10-minute timer, as soon as it ends, there will be a direct attack, and once the attack happens, the whole world will be destroyed. But friends, at this time we see that Sonic arrives there, after which he directly enters Eclipse by making a hole in it and catches Shadow. He brings him straight to Earth, but both of them fight on Earth, in which we see that Shadow punches Sonic very hard. Because of this punch, Emerald comes out of Sonic's body, and Emerald, the 7 heroes who make up the diamond, also get separated. After this, seeing all those heroes, both Sonic and Shadow go to catch him, after which half of the diamonds go to Sonic and half to Shadow, and now that is why Master Emerald is needed. The powers of both of them increase equally, and after getting this power, they both start fighting, and in the fight they beat each other very badly. Here in the other side space, we see that Dr. Gagman understands this, that he cannot make his grandfather understand, and hence he attacks him to stop him, after which here the fight between Dadapati starts inside Eclipse as well. Here in the fight between Sonic and Shadow, we see that Sonic starts overpowering Shadow, after which Sonic, while fighting, brings Shadow directly to the moon and beats him there. Beats Shadow and makes him powerless, but while beating Shadow, Sonic remembers Tom's words, because Tom had once told Sonic that you have goodness in your heart, and you should never let this goodness fade away from your heart, and then remembering Tom's words, Sonic stops and doesn't beat Shadow. Seeing this, Shadow is shocked and asks Sonic that why isn't he killing him? Hearing this, Sonic tells Shadow that he is not killing him. He tells Sonic that he is not bad, and that is why he will not kill him. Now seeing Sonic and hearing his words, Shadow remembers Maria, and he sees that Maria also thought the same way, and that is why Shadow also does the same. He understands that whatever he is doing it in anger, and work done in anger is always wrong. This happens, and now Shadow decides that he will support Sony, and together with Sonic, he will stop Dr. Gerald. Only after this, both Sonic and Shadow together take power from Emerald, and after becoming powerful, they go straight to stop Dr. Gerald. Here we again see inside the Eclipse, where we notice that Dr. Gerald and Gagman are still fighting, and Gagman is still stopping Dr. Gad, but then the next moment a portal opens and Tails enters the portal. And Knuckles arrives there, after which they help Gagman, and together they warn Dr. Gerald, but by now the 10-minute timer was over, and that is why a beam comes out very fast from Eclipse. Which beam it goes straight to Earth so that it can destroy Earth, but by then all the shadows had reached there, and that is why they quickly come in front of the beam and absorb the energy of the beam on themselves and save Earth from getting destroyed. Rest here inside Eclipse, we see that Knuckles and Tails and Ammon quickly change Eclipse's direction, causing Eclipse's beam to go into space instead of Earth, and they together save the Earth from being destroyed. Shadow then quickly saves Eclipse from getting trapped in the Earth. But as for Sonic, he becomes very weak due to the beam and he falls unconscious on the Earth. But Knuckles and Tails notice this and they quickly rush to save Sonic. He comes out and opens a portal with his ring and lands directly on Earth, after which Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails all three survive, while on the other side, when Shadow comes inside Eclipse, Gagman tells him that now this Eclipse energy, because of this, there has been a lot of overload, and now this will explode in a short time, and due to the effect of this blast, Earth will also be destroyed. Now, this person just tells his Shadow Egg that we have done this, and that is why it is our responsibility to save the meaning from this thing. Now for this, Shadow starts pushing Eclipse away from the Earth so that his blast does not affect the Earth, and Dr. Gagman tries to control the overloaded energy inside Eclipse so that he and Shadow can have some more time, so that they can meet, and then when both of them together bring Eclipse far away, then only Eclipse gets destroyed, and this destruction is so big that it is clearly visible from the Earth and Sonic. Knuckles and Tails together can also bear this blast. Let's see, but after this, the scene ends and a month passes, and then after a month we see that now Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Tom, and Maddie all go on vacation together, and they have a lot of enjoyment there, because now everything is fine. And that is why the movie ends with this, but friends, after the movie ends, a post-cut scene comes in the movie, and in the post-cut scene we see that Sonic is running in the jungle at night, but at the same time he sees all the mechanical hedgehogs chase him. That is, all those hedgehogs are like him, but they are mechanical, and all of them are about to attack him when suddenly someone else comes there, and that person comes there and attacks them. All of the mechanicals beat up the hedgehog and save Sonic, and when the person reveals herself, we find out that the character is none other than Sonic the Hedgehog's girlfriend, whose name is Amy Rose. And this Amy Rose will most likely be seen with Sonic in his next movie, but friends, the whole movie ends with this. So friends, tell me how you liked this movie in our video. If you liked anything, then like the video and write Sonic or SAC3 in the comments. If you guys want to tell me something else, you can tell me that too in the comments. So that's all for today's video. Let's end this video here. Yes, I will meet you in some other such great video. Till then, goodbye.